Hi everyone, and Happy New Year. My name is Andrew Baronski. I'm the Technology-Enabled Learning and Teaching Consultant for the WRDSB, also known as the TELT. And this video is just to kind of help you get started with using Brightspace if you're transitioning to using it for distance learning right now with your students. So I'm just going to cover some quick basics here. So once you've logged in and landed on the home page in Brightspace, if you scroll down, you'll see your My Courses here. Now this is synced with our Trillium information system. So in elementary, if you're the home form or core teacher, your class will be created for you automatically. You'll be enrolled as a teacher and your students will be added as well. And if you're a secondary teacher, all of your classes are added for you. Same thing, teacher added and students added as well. You'll see those courses here, or via the waffle, you can always search for a course by typing a course name or even just the school year for 2021 as an example to see what courses you have tied to that. If you see your class here, if it says an active beside it, that means you have access to it as the educator, but your students do not. You need to make it active to give your students access. So to do that, you can see it says an active here. I'm going to hover over that class and click the three dots that pop up and then select course offering information. This is only a one-time thing. Once you turn it on, your students get access immediately and you're good to go. So once I land on this page, I'm going to scroll down a little bit here and I'll see a space that says active, course is active. I'm just going to check that box and click save. And now to return to the home page in Brightspace, you just click the little house in the top left-hand corner. And you'll see now it doesn't say inactive on it, which means that class is active for your students. To access this class, I'm just going to click on it now. And I'll be brought to a home page that looks just like this. Now, this is customizable to you, but there is a basic template that will start for you and your students when you log in. Across the top is what's called the Navbar. You can customize this, and we'll look at that in a moment. But here on the home page, you have widgets or boxes. There's a template here set up for you, but you can customize this, change it too. For starting out, I would recommend the activity feed. It's a really quick, easy way for teachers to share announcements, videos, links, and other items with their class. So to get started with the activity feed here, you'll see a little plus button and then create post. You can just click anywhere here and you'll get a dialog box that pops up for you to use. We'll say, Happy New Year, all. And very basic text editor here. You've got emojis built in too, if you like. By default, when you click into activity feed, it's going to be a message to post to your class, but you can also turn this into an assignment in a way to collect work from your students. We're just going to focus on posting the message now. You can choose to optionally allow your students to add a comment to this or respond to this post, or you can turn that off so they can't respond to it. Completely up to you. And then the true magic of activity feed here is with this attach button. So by clicking attach, you'll see a variety of options here for you for how you can share things with your class. You can upload a file directly off your computer. It could be an image or a PDF as an example. An image will embed right here and show for your students to see. Attach a link to existing activity is not going to be helpful for you just as you're starting out. But if I click on it quickly here, it shows you all the spaces you can build out resources in Brightspace and share. So again, good once you're building things out, you can grab, say, an assignment or grab it from content and make it front and center here for your students. You can drop a web link in. If you optionally sync your Google Drive account, and on your class homepage at the bottom of it, you'll see a Google Apps widget there to sync your account. Once you've done that once, you can just access your drive right away and grab a file from that. I actually wouldn't recommend using this one, however. There's another option I'll show you here in a sec. Kind of following through, and you can grab videos too. Also, right within the activity feed, you can actually just copy and paste a link right in for your students to access. And I really like this feature. It's nice and visual. So for example, I found an article online I wanted to share with my students. And this one here just came out on the 31st. The student won a huge prize for explaining quantum tunneling, $250,000 scholarship, which, wow, amazing. So if I wanted to share this with my students, I could simply grab the URL to this page, go back to my class. Now with attach, I can use the attach web link, paste the URL and put my own title on this to hyperlink to my students. But right within the space here to post my message, if I just paste that URL, I can see it actually brings it and embeds it. So I'm just gonna, and I can remove this after the fact. So I got that out there, and now this is like linked here right for my students. It brings the website it's from, the highlights and hyperlinks to it, and it brings the image off the page as well. So I really like that feature. Also for video, if you want to share a video within your class here, if I jump over to YouTube, you kind of get the busyness of YouTube here. You're going to get ads popping up and all these hyperlinks. It can be a good way to maybe lose your students when you send them off that way. You can actually embed this right in. So you could just take the link and paste it in, and it would give a link to this YouTube page. But a quick tip here is using the embed feature. So if you click on the share button in YouTube, and then this is the direct link to it, but you'll see an option for embed here. Just simply take this hyperlink it gives you, right click and copy it. And then I'm going to go back to my page here, and then same thing, just right in the text editor, I'm going to paste that in. And you'll see it actually embeds the video right there for your students. And again, I can remove this link now and it still stays here in my post. So again, great, quick, easy way, message to your students, a link for where they want to go, a video for them to watch. You can have multiple things attached in here. When I'm ready to post, I can click post to post it right away, or I can also select post later, and then choose a specific date and time I want that to post. So if you're working today and want to get posted tomorrow morning, you pick the date and time you want that to post, and you can schedule that post. I'm going to post this right now though. And so there I can see, and again, for that YouTube piece, I click play, and that video is right there and playing within the feed. No ads, no other links outside of it. And if I click here, it takes me right off to that other page. So really great feature. That's kind of activity feed in a nutshell. There is more you can do with the activity feed though. So if I click in here again, and say, join this Google Meet. Okay, so I'm going to pop that there to your class. So we're going to, hey, want to connect live and synchronously. How are you going to share that with your students? I can click the attach button here, and then via the attach link to existing activity option, so the second option I get here, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to see an option here for Google Meet. So once I've done that sync of my Google Apps widget to my board account, I just do that once, and now it's basically you're giving permissions for the board's Brightspace platform to access your board WSB Gmail address. Once you've done that once, it's synced up. So now if I here and click Google Meet, it's actually going to pop and create a Google Meet for me right here and post it for my students as a live link. So it's a quick, easy way to give your students access to a Google Meet. Just post it there when you're ready. Your students can click to join. So I post this now. And I click to join here. It brings me over and pulls up my settings and I'm ready to go here. And I can just click join now. I'm going to jump in here very quickly. Probably get a little lag on my video here. This is not a nickname meet, so it would just be a live living link for anyone within the board to access. You can change that in the bottom left hand corner with the shield here by turning quick access on or off. So with quick access off, I need to allow students in. It'll get me a little pop-up or a knock at the door, and I can let them in that way, or I can turn this back on when I want just to let people in. Okay, that's one way to share a meet, a quick and easy way. If you want to use a nicknamed meet, which is not, this is kind of like the sync here is kind of like creating one from your calendar. If you want a nickname meet, and the difference of a nickname meet is it won't let students in until an educator has joined that link first once it's created. And once you close and end that meet, as long as the educator is the last person to leave it, it will close off that meet and kind of expire that link. If I wanted to do that within Brightspace, I can simply go to meet.google.com, click join or start a meeting, and then create a nickname. I'm going to go Bronsky class English or something. You want to create a unique nickname that would kind of just be for you and not something that everyone else is going to be used, because that can kind of get a little messy. So just kind of your last name, the class code works great. Click continue. And now you'll see a link up in the top here to this. So I'm going to grab this link. Now, if you join it and leave it, remember it's going to expire that link for you as the educator. So I'm just going to copy the link that was created for this one up in my URL here and click copy. And then I can go back to my Brightspace homepage and go join this meet and paste that link in. And I can remove it from here. Now, this will be a link to a nickname meet. There is a way to create a custom Navbar link so you can have a recurring Google Meet that is nicknamed or from your calendar. You just live it up here once. If you're doing this for quite some time and on the daily, I would recommend doing that, but here's just the quick and easy for now. Okay, I'm going to cancel this post though. So there's kind of the activity feed, posting a Google Meet, sharing some resources. One final piece I'm going to cover with the activity feed here is how you can grab something and share it from your Google Drive with your students. So I click on create post again. I'm just going to say access the resource below. And then via the attach button again, you can use the Google Drive integration. This is kind of an older one from Google, not my favorite. So if this is working for you, just go ahead with this one. The one I personally really like is also here with attached link to existing activity. And scroll down again. So this is where we saw Google Meet. Next, I want to focus on here is Google File Embed. You'll also see Google Assignments here, and you can use this tool to create an assignment where you grab a template from your Google Drive and set it to make a copy for each of your students. I'll cover that in another video, but it's a great, easy way to give a template out. It looks and functions just like Google Classroom does for Google Assignments, but right within Brightspace. But if I just want to share a resource for my students to see but not get their own copy, I'm going to use Google File Embed. So I'm going to click here. And I get a little pop-up box here. It pulls my board email address by default. So you just want to make sure you're using your board account for this. You click select file. And then I get a little pop-up here that pulls up my drive right away. And it's going to pull my recent files for me. Or I can go over to my drive itself too. So if I want to jump into my drive here and grab a specific file, I can just do that as well. Say I wanted to share the slide deck with my class. I'm going to just double click the slide deck. And it lets me know attaching this file will change the sharing setting and allow anyone with the link to access it, okay? Which is exactly what you want. It's basically just Google's taking care of this for you. You're just gonna attach it from your drive, and it essentially makes a replica and changes the sharing permissions on it so anyone can see it but not change or edit it. So I'm gonna click attach. And now I'll see it's right there. It pulls the title of my document right for us. My students can access it. I click post. And what I actually really love about using this right in the activity feed now, when your students come here and select this, it actually publishes it to the web. So you can actually see for the slide deck, it removes the file and naming conventions across the top here and just makes it a clickable slide deck for your students to move through. I love that feature. It's viewable. You don't have to even worry about the sharing permissions and settings here. It's just right there for you and your students to use, okay? One thing you might be wondering is like, okay, this is great. This works good for me, but what does this look like for my students? Another feature I really love in Brightspace is you can actually view as a generic student. To do that, simply click on your profile icon in the top right-hand corner and then click View as Student. Now, this flips me over here and I can see I'm viewing as a student now and things pretty much look identical. And that's the way they should. So I can see here, this is my student view and what my students would see as we're kind of working through this class. To return to yourself as a teacher, simply click your profile in the top right and then click the X and you return to your own profile there. Okay, so that's your homepage in Brightspace and using the activity feed to post announcements, share links, start a Google Meet, whether it's a nickname meet or right from your calendar with the integration. And then with the Google File Embed, quick and easy way to share resources from your drive for your students to see. Another tool I want to highlight really quickly here for you is the announcements tool. So you'll see this separate widget off to the right. And again, if you want to get a little geekier, you can customize what lives where and what you use and not. Some teachers will choose to use the activity feed or announcements, but not both. There's a lot of overlap in features, really up to you. I personally kind of like having both though, and I think you can use them for different things. For me, activity feed just could be your go-to, but I use this for like the quick kind of way to organize all of my stuff and share resources out for the day and like links and videos and things to access. And for me, announcements is kind of like my daily start to the day with a plan for students and a calendar to get at. Okay. To use an announcement, you simply click on Create News Item, or if you've used one already, click the little drop down arrow and New News Item. You pop a title on it here, Happy 2021, and you'll see the difference here is you get a really detailed text editor now. So you have like all kinds of options. You can insert images that will embed right here and show for your students. You can play with your font sizes and colors, insert tables, and some really other fun things too. The availability, kind of like activity feed, you can say have it always show. You can set a start date. You can also have an end date for when that announcement kind of leaves, so it doesn't just sit there all the time for your students. And then with this text editor here, some really cool options. So again, here's my image. I can hyperlink via the drop downs. I've got symbols, emoticons again. But the one I really want to focus on you and highlight for you is this little play button here in the top left-hand corner, which is known as Insert Stuff. When I click Insert Stuff, I get a long list here of all the kind of things I can insert. So lots of cool options here for you. Learn 360 is embedded. That Google file embed is here again. Equatio for math and science is built in. But the one I want to focus is this really cool built-in tool in Brightspace called Add Video Note. Okay, so I'm going to select this option here, and this is used throughout Brightspace. The one I got highlighted here is it's not in activity feed, but it's in announcements, it's in content, it's in assignments, it's in discussions. It's there as a tool for both you and your students to use, and there's no special software here. So if I click on Add Video Note, what it does, it actually brings up a camera here, web camera here. So it's just grabbing the web camera on your device, pulls it up, and it's a quick, easy, simple way for you to make a recording to share with your class. I'm just going to click New Recording to start it. Hi everyone, happy 2021. Really excited to get started with you and learn with you in this distance learning setup. Click stop when you're done, and it will play back to you right away and immediately here. So I'm just going to click next, put a quick title, 2021. You don't need to put a description on this. Good to know for audio language here. If you click this, this will only work for the language you're speaking in, but you can actually have it process and put subtitles or text for what you are saying on top of your video. This is a really nice accessibility feature. So if you have students who have a hearing concern or issue, you can use this and they can read the text of what you're saying. Or if you've got Learn even as a way to practice literacy, potentially, to listen and hear what you're saying and have that pulled across, you can have that added if you want. Okay, I'm going to click next here. Now, your file won't process immediately for this video, it's just kind of building it in the background. Just trust that it worked when it says this and click Insert. Now, same thing, it hasn't processed right away, but I can insert that video here right into my post. I could have other information around this, so I could have a quick piece, but I personally just kind of go with this video. Now, if I click Publish, I can see it's posted here. Now I'm going to go back to the home page of my class. To do that, you can click on Course Home in the Navbar, or always just click on the name of your class at the top. Now I can see that video is now processed and there and ready to go. So again, here's my activity feed, and this is how it would look for my students. So they just come in, they'd say, oh, click the play button, and that video is there and playing for them, ready to go. So they can expand that full screen if they want. Really cool options. It's a nice, easy, quick way for your students to see you, hear you, and especially for our younger learners, I think, but truly for all our learners, it's a really nice feature for asynchronous video. You've got that Google Meet option for your synchronous options, but you can still do really quick, easy synchronous video to share news, announcements, instructions to your students. Okay, so that's the video note feature via announcements. The last thing I want to highlight for you in this video, there's so much we can cover here in Brightspace. I would really recommend checking out content and all the ways you can build that, how to use the portfolio tool and how students can take pictures or videos, or parents can take pictures or videos of their students learning and share those with you privately, quickly and easily via a free Brightspace portfolio app. all kinds of other information. You can see your class list here. There's a wealth of assessment tools here, and all kinds of great stuff you can do from an assessment standpoint with your students, and build those out. But the last thing I want to highlight is just this Navbar itself and customizing it to look and feel the way you want it to. So to do that, when you're hovering your mouse over your Navbar here with these icons, you're going to click the three little dots in the top right, and then click Edit this Navbar. The first time you do this, there's gonna be something about like customize or connect, or I can't remember, make a copy essentially. Basically, it's gonna ask you if you want to make a replica of the Navbar. Just click yes for that, and then once you've done that, you'll get this Edit Navbar option and be taken to the editor. So click on Edit this Navbar. And now we'll see the icons here. Now I can customize this to look and feel however I want. One I'll highlight, Edit Course here gives you a ton of options and links for doing pretty much everything you'd want in your course. I always recommend having this up, and I'll highlight it's set for permissions for teacher versus student. So students get access to almost nothing through this tool, whereas the educator in the class gets access to all kinds of things. So I always recommend leaving this one in, but there's some things in here you don't want. Like if you don't want to use the calendar tool at all in this class, you can just click the X and remove that off your Navbar. If you want to reorder things, so if you want assessment to be more focused, you can bring that over, and drop it right there, or you can reorganize this to live wherever you want. By default, these are icon-based, but you can also churn that off and make them text-based. And if I click Save and Close here, you'll see the same links, they work and function the same way. It's just text-based instead of the visual piece. I like the visual personally, but it's a personal preference, and click there. Now, these are the default ones that kind of come. This one's a customized one that I've made, and I'll show you about that in a sec. But you can reorganize these, remove these. If you're not using something at the start, I would say just get rid of the X and get rid of it if you don't plan to use it at all. You can also, though, add links. So if you come here and click on the Add Links button, you'll see a variety of resources here and different things that are built in. There's some custom, like some default ones from Brightspace, and there's some custom ones for our system as well. And these are just things you can add to that. Okay. You'll see these here though, this daily calendar with a little emoji of me here, and this option for daily Google Meets. These are two that I've created. You won't see these, but you can actually create your own custom links for your students in your Navbar. I love this feature. It's a way to just anything you're using consistent with your students and to customize and personalize it for yourself and use your own icon image there for your students. You'll see, to do this, you'll see in the top left-hand corner here of the Add Links, a Create Custom Link. So I can click here. I can enter a name for it. So if it had a daily recurring Google Meet, daily meetings, let's go. And then you just drop the URL into it. Okay, so a few ways to get at this, but since it's going to be recurring, if you create a Google Meet link with your calendar, again, you can use that quick access to enable students to access or not, or if you just want to leave it as the option for having it end each time you use it with that nickname Meet, I'll show you a little trick. You're going to go https://g.co/meet/your nickname here. And this is where you just put in your own custom nickname. So for me, it was a Bronsky class English or something along those lines. So again, https://g.co/meet/ and then your nickname. What this does is it will create a new nickname Meet every time it's clicked on and accessed by the educator. Okay. From here, you don't need to put a description, that's just for you. You can upload an image. So if I click upload here and go to my desktop, let's see, you could just grab an icon there, whatever icon you want to put in. So if I wanted to use me for an example here as an emoji, just kind of like getting my students there, I could put that in as an example and that would upload that way. And then I can click create. Okay. Once I click create, there it will be live. There's my link, and I just simply click add because it's checked off. And then there's my daily meetings for this class to get students to that nickname Meet link over and over again where it expires that link. Okay. So there's that piece and how to create this. But again, it could be a daily calendar that leads to a Google Doc or a Google slide deck. It could be out to a website that you use consistent with your students. Totally and completely up to you. After you're done making your changes here, you can click Save and Close. But one other piece I'll highlight for you. You'll see under More Options here, Change Title in the Navbar. So you can see here the org unit name. What that's talking about is the name of your class up here. So again, if you're in elementary, it's going to say LM Digital 01 and then the teacher's last name. If you want to customize this, you can actually go here and click Custom and then type in whatever you like, and it will change that name at the top here for you. We've made these changes, simply click Save and Close. And now I can see that daily meetings link is there. If I click on this as an educator right now, you can see it takes me right out to creates a new Google Meet for me. And there's my nickname Meet right off the top here. So there is for me and my students to access. I could join this one, come in here, and this is here. My students would click and they wouldn't be able to access until an educator joins, be here in this Meet. I would make sure when I'm done to end it, make sure all your students have left first. And then after about 30 seconds to a few minutes, that link expires and it won't work anymore. And then when you come back, say a few minutes later as the educator and click on it again, it's actually creating a new nickname Meet link for you with that same nickname, still just be a new link for you and your students to join and access. Okay. There's a lot here in Brightspace. I hope this is a good way to help you get started with using the tool though. Go patient with yourself and with your students. Lots of things you can do. It's a really great, powerful tool and you can do so much with it. But I thought this is a good way to start. And I think with this video, you should be able to get through at least a few days, if not more, just with this. And then when you're ready, look to get a little deeper. And the next space I would go personally would be to how you can build out content, organize and share your resources in really rich, valuable ways. And then maybe shift over to portfolio and or assessment would be where I go next. I hope you found this helpful. Happy 2021, everyone, and happy 2021, everybody. And best of luck with this transition right now. Catch you later.